out with Dale from Michael Dale from Dell Computers, and just talking with him and sharing with him my ideals and asking him questions. Of course, I wanted to know when the next tablet was coming out, so I had a lot of questions for him. I've sat in with a number of the Google employees, getting to know them, and I would have to say the most unique person I've met so far is in this Hangout. You want to know who that is? Sarah Hill.
Oh, totally. I'll agree with that one. I'll totally agree with that one. I think we all will, and that's fantastic. You know what? I'm gonna turn it over, Tom, over there on the end, and then Nate will come to you on this one to round us out. Go ahead.
Boy, as far as most unique person, I guess there's a plethora of people. You know, there are musicians, there are politicians that have been on here. You know, if I look through and think about the Will.i.am experiment last weekend was popular. What they're doing now, actually having a camera at the back of the stage, showing out over the stage, letting people see, you know, what it looks like with an audience of 60,000 people out there. I've sat in the Hangouts with executives from Ford Motor Company, you know, Ford being the first company that has actually been allowed to be on Google Plus, and seeing those guys look at how they were going to be able to interact with customers, with engineers. You know, they'll be able to use it as a training tool. They'll probably use it for doing customer satisfaction surveys. There are so many opportunities. I think personally, the thing that I'm seeing with this is the ability to use it for classes and education. I think that's going to be the biggest change. And there are people, you know, much like this, doing cooking classes. I think about the ability to reach people in remote places and show them, just as Sarah's done with people around the world, where we've got Laurent in France and Pio in Italy and Robert in Austria. You know, you can Martin in Norway, being able to come into a Hangout and share what's going on in each one of these areas as an educational tool. That's where it's going.
That's great. And Nate, talk to us.
I have met so many interesting people on here, like Tom too. Anywhere from, you know, Google employees that I never thought I would get a chance to actually sit down and talk about, and how I want to use this product, and how I like things I like and don't like about Google Plus and the Hangouts, and to, you know, people I know on here that are almost doing performance art by doing, you know, coming in and doing social experiments on how people react to certain people, to other fellow musicians, to programmers, and it's just a great medium to get to know people on a personal level, on a business level, and on just a level where everybody's cool here. It seems like everybody's here, and you know, some people are here just to be friends and hang out, and some people are trying to also incorporate business needs for it. And I think there's just, if anything, there's only like a fun rivalry where if you're in the same like other musicians, they'll push you to do better. They'll push you to go further with it. But they're not helping you out just because you're another musician. It just seems very healthy environment for people to grow and discover their own abilities in a totally different, you know, medium that we've never had before.
Grow and discover your own abilities. I love that because it's future focused. Let's go now and check in on Shefali in the present, and then we'll come back to a question that everybody's been having. How do I grow a circle base? How do I grow people who are circling me? And then you guys can ask, or you guys can tell us, is that the right question to ask? Is it about circlers here, people circling you, or is it about what you're circling? Shefali, talk to us about where you're at now.
So right now, I just started the rice, and I wanted to just say a few little things about the rice. We use basmati rice, Indian basmati rice. So what we did beforehand was we soaked it for half an hour, and the reason why we do that is to make the rice kernels, I guess you want to call them, more flavorful and thicker and bigger. So now it's on the stove now, and it's cooking, and it'll be about 20 minutes. So once the rice is done and the chicken, I think it'll be done by the end of the hour. So next is going to be the raita, which is a yogurt dish, and that takes seconds. So we're in good shape here.
Okay, great. Well, talk to us for a second, because I've always heard the term basmati. What does that mean?
What does it mean? It's a it's the smell, scented. Yeah, it's not jasmine, but it's a type of basmati that is it's really really good. It's the only one we eat. I don't eat any other kind myself. I only eat basmati rice, and it's more flavorful, and it's not like Asian rice. It's really sticky and stuff like that. The Indian basmati rice is it's just so much better. I don't know how to explain it. Have you ever had basmati rice?
I'd be telling a lie if I shook my head yes, but Nathan has. Nate has. Sorry about that. Nate, what was your experience with it? How would you define it?
I love Indian food because I love things super super spicy too. So I love it. It's not sticky. It doesn't stick like Asian rice does. It actually looks different. I think Robert has a picture of it.
Is that a picture of basmati rice?
I think that is.
Wait, Robert, can you do that one more time for me, please?
Yes, we love basmati rice.
Okay, yeah, you're right. It is significant. It's different.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
It's not sticky, and there's actually like if you eat like a plain Asian rice, you gotta have something with it unless you cook it in like chicken broth or something because it doesn't really have a flavor.
Right.
But the basmati does. It has like a flavor. It has its own taste to it. So it's like it can stand on its own without something if it needs to. I don't know. It's good.
Oh my gosh, this is
and
funny.
And
the
kernels can actually be
chat room
separated. You know, like they're not all stuck together.
It's great for me because every time I go and I have Indian, I choose for the what's the bread called? The flat bread? Naan, exactly.
Naan?
I mean that's it's the most addictive thing on earth, I'm convinced. But so that's what we have. Well, thank you for giving us that update. Are you going to walk us through now the raita, or would you? We'd love to see it now, or we can go through some other.
In a few more minutes.
Okay, great. So
yeah, go through some stuff and then we'll do the raita in a few minutes.
Okay, great. Well, we will definitely go through some stuff. For everyone here, tell me a little bit about this question: the to be circled or to circle. Who wants to start off with that one? Give me a something.
Sure.
Okay, Robert, go ahead.
Tom starts?
No, you do, Robert. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. First, you take it completely wrong. You think about Google Plus as a social network, and that is not the case. So you cannot do circles like on Facebook. You do not meet just friends and your family. And you cannot do it like on Twitter, that you are following just strangers. So it is even more, it's the best of both, but also different. Let me explain. So Facebook is like the social graph, like a tree of persons that you have in your social field. So the family and friends very near and others more far away. And Twitter is the other way around, like birds sitting on the tree. But now Google Plus is the full garden and everything, and you can choose where to walk in this zoo. So I can connect with people on an infograph, like Robert Scoble likes to say, and can find the top street photographers, or I can find the top musicians, or like I'm doing it live now. Besides this Hangout, a very nice guy from the UK was giving me tips about a very specific technical question, how to set up my computer for screen recording. So it's all the colorful imagination, creativity, ideas and know-how from all of us around the world can culminate now through very different speeds that this medium also gives us. So take attention that you have very a rich bouquet of different speeds of communication and how deep you interact. So going from a simple, a little +1, I like this, up to a live hangout, and maybe up to being on the top, just a one-to-one personal hangout would be maybe the most intimate thing that you can do online now.
So you're telling me, yeah, definitely some of the benefits about it, and I get that, but I'm also a social scientist. I want followers. Help me. What am I, not me, but this is the mindset of folks that are going to come in. Somebody, what else, what are your thoughts with that? Sarah, go ahead.
I was just going to say sharing content beyond your expertise. So for instance, if you were a car dealer and all of the content that you provided only had to do with cars, you're not casting a very wide net. So in that, for instance, in the news, I try to share obviously content with news stories, but I also try to share things that are really not relevant to the news necessarily, whether that be a funny picture or, there's an issue about poverty in some country. I think it's how wide you cast your net, and if you just share about just your little circle, or if you kind of, I guess, open up and let people see a person who you are behind your official title, if that helps.
No, absolutely. Okay, so that's something, again, that's something that's new that I haven't heard before, but is beyond your area of expertise. Nate, let's go beyond your area of expertise. Let's not talk music for a second. Where would you take it? Yeah. I
actually think, like, it was almost like a two-part question. The first part was, like, to be circled or to circle. On that aspect, I think you can have your cake and eat it here on Google+. You can circle what you want to follow, but you can also promote to have yourself circled and followers as much as you want. So if you want a lot of followers, you can do that and still have your close-knit group of friends that you're listening to and you want to hear. So you don't have to be inundated with a full flood stream if you don't want to be. Other than just, going off of just your normal, on your expertise, it also helps Hangouts, I think. If I'm in here and I'm doing a face-to-face with you, you're more likely to circle me and actually be interested in what content I have to provide to you, whether it be a funny photo or whether it be a video or whether it be a link to my YouTube channel or it's, the new song I wrote or, when's your next newscast going to be. If you have a face-to-face, it's not just digital anymore. It's personal. You know my face. I know you. It's like we made a real-life contact as if we were all 10 of us, or how many are in here? 2, 4, 6, 7 of us sitting in a room, hanging out, talking while we're cooking. So I think that's the best way for me is Hangouts. Like that's how I've gotten my followers. And then they share, those people that have done the face-to-face kind of become your own publicity team. And they're like, hey, this guy's really cool. We hung out. I got to know him on a personal level. Da-da-da-da. He's not all just about music. He's a really fun guy too. He's kind of goofy, a little quirky. You get to actually get a sense. And then they'll push that to their friends. And all of a sudden, like in 1 week, in a week of really pushing on here, I went from having 100 followers to I'm almost at 500 now. And my goal is to be past 1,000 by Halloween. And it's totally doable. Just because you can hang out with somebody and get a face-to-face. That's
great. Those are some goals.
I know that's not a lot of followers, though.
I know. In comparison to some other, yeah. But you know what? It's your goal. It's your thing. I'm just thankful that I've met you, and hopefully this helps you get there as well. I'm going to turn it to Tom. I want you to cap it, but I'm going to reach out to Shefali for a minute, and then we'll have you kind of wrap it up here shortly. Shefali, would you hit unmute and walk us through?
Okay, so I'm basically ready now to do the daisa. The chicken is doing great, the rice is cooking, right? So now we're going to do the daisa, and I want to explain exactly how we do this. It's really yogurt and cucumber, right? But we don't use the yogurt from the store. We make yogurt at home. So I'm just stirring it now some more, but I thought I would just describe exactly how we make yogurt at home. So what we do is we take like a liter of milk and we boil that, and when it gets, and then we let it cool down, and when it's like a little bit warm, we add 1.5 tablespoons of yogurt starter, right, like the kind you buy from the store. And then we cover that up, put it in the oven, and by the next morning, you will have fresh, plain yogurt. And it's healthy, it's good for you, and then you can add either fruits to it or salty things to it. Like today we're going to add the cucumber and some spices, right? And I think I said earlier that the raita is really good when you're having spicy food because it helps your stomach. It coats your stomach. It cuts the spice a bit. So, and we have it a lot usually in the summertime because of the heat, right? When your body is hot, the yogurt will cool down your body temperature, your core body temperature, like somebody said earlier. So the yogurt is ready. We're just going to add cucumbers to it. Shredded cucumber, not the whole thing. So we're just going to have some shredded cucumber.
Shredded cucumber and yogurt.
Yep, shredded cucumber.
Interesting.
There it is. You can see that. Yeah,
We have to warn people, Shefali, from here on out. I think we're warning them on the Hangout to have dinner before the show.
That's a requirement. Have dinner before the show.
It smells so good. So I'm just going to add a little bit of salt and some paprika for garnish on top. I can't see the salt. All right, and so basically, that's done. There is nothing else left to do. And that's it. So basically now we're just waiting for the chicken to be done and the rice, and that should be in about 10 minutes.
Great. I can't wait. Now, Tom, you want to take us through that
Both
last...
things will be ready in about 10 minutes.
Great, 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 great. Tom, what are your thoughts on that?
Sure. I guess the thing, and you know, Robert touched on it a little bit, is I'm not so worried about the quantity of followers, but the quality, and that goes back to both the people that I select, that I choose to follow and put into my circle and put into my stream. You know, Google has really taken it a whole lot further than anybody else has with the ability to do circles and, you know, curate as whether I want to have a group of people that I follow every day, that I follow continuously, that I check in on once a week. I can put them into different circles. And when it comes to, you know, the real reach of people wanting many, many people to follow them, I'm stressing to them that they probably want to wait until the Google business profile pages become available, because those are going to have tools to build and probably do better analytics and find out who it is that's following you and what kind of response and interaction you're getting. But that's I guess where I stress what I'm finding with Google versus anything else, Facebook or Twitter, I'll put those names out there, is that it's really about quality, not quantity.
Great. Well, on that note, quality versus quantity, I will open it up. Is there any questions that anyone in this group has for anyone else?
I guess I have a question for Tom. Do you think that Google Plus, you know, for instance, talking to some of the people in Missouri, do you think Google Plus has more of an international reach than, say, a Facebook or Twitter now? I mean, if I look at my feed, a lot of the people who are putting me in circles are from outside of the United States. And that is definitely not the case on any other platform or on Twitter or Facebook.
Yeah, that's a great question, and I do think that's what I'm finding as well. Both personal and social contacts as well as business contacts on here. Finding people, even many people who maybe on other networks wouldn't have been as involved with English being a second language for them. They can come into Hangouts and have other people assist them in communicating. That's where I'm seeing really the strength. When you have more than one-to-one communication or one-to-many, when you have many-to-many, they're actually assisting each other in communication, and that proves real valuable.
Mm-hmm. Makes you wonder if Google Plus won't continue to be a more global preferred social network than, say, Facebook or Twitter ever in the future. You know, maybe this Google Plus is going to be perceived as more global as opposed to the other. Who knows?
And Robert, can you add the comment that you did in the chat? Would you mind?
Yes, so I think that it's still very young, and I'm totally surprised how far it has already grown. And so we have to keep in mind that it is public since a week, and I was trying, for example, I was trying it out in July and had no idea what to do, and jumped out again, and then I continued to, I started at my second try end of August, and was totally amazed, and within minutes I was on Sarah's desk in the middle of a news show, and then I was talking to a guy in Pakistan and asking him about new data privacy laws, is it right? And he told me that it's only a propaganda thing, and so I was jumping around the globe and was lucky to be invited by, I think, some 14-year-old guy from YouTube. I can't remember, and it's only public now since a week, and it will really take some time until everybody picks it up around the world, and then we will really see the full beauty, both with quantity and quality. So you can reach both depending on how you build your circles and networks.
Thank you so much.
I want to share something real quick in regards to the Google and as far as building a brand. Some people don't quite understand about the circles and how do they play into it, or how everything all ties in together. I have a question for everyone. How are you really using Google Plus to build your brand? Are you doing it as a person? Are you doing it as a person and a business? Or are you doing it as a person who's actually on to get the word out about their business? And when you answer, kind of share just a tidbit of some of the a tip or two, one tip that you would give someone in the way that you are branding on Google Plus.
We all go
I guess I
quiet for
can
a
start
minute.
and share a little bit.
Yeah.
And that is that
Everyone's like,
I'm not building so much of a brand around myself. My philosophy is to develop brands and companies as opposed to myself as a brand, so that they can ultimately operate without me and make money overnight while I sleep. But building myself as a brand in regard to the image that people get to know, I think the key is to keep it varied and put some stuff about business out there, some stuff about myself, share some information about what I know, but also be willing to go out there and ask the questions and say, you know, this is something I don't know, who can help? Because people involved and engaged and share with that, and when I do that and people are sharing those questions and rallying other people to answer them, that's when I find my circles are growing most rapidly, and I'm finding real, genuine people to connect with.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ermine.
I-
Oh, Sarah, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, sorry. I was just going to say, you know, a lot of people, especially in my business, they say, wow, I just can't take on another social platform. I've got all that I can handle. And what I tell them is there is no other platform right now that can allow people to connect horizontally again and share instead of the one-to-many communication that's over, that Google Plus does. And when I ask people, have you heard of Google Plus, there are very few who said they've ever heard of the Hangout feature. And that's really surprising to me, because I think it's the best feature on